Anyone else have side jobs to make more money? I work a full-time job that pays just enough, but with bills and debt, I always find myself with very little money left. I have started being more mindful of how and where I spend my money, but I think making more money on the side would definitely help. I used to sell things I no longer need on the marketplace and other sites, which I've been trying to do more of again. I started last week and so far I've made $90. I also just signed up to be a dasher. I have a bunch of plants that I can propagate and sell once they're established. I write for Medium and that pays me a few dollars every month depending on how much engagement my articles make. I was wondering what anyone else does to make more money on the side and how much time it takes out of your day. I Instacart, which can be a hit or miss these days. I also have a hard time doing it as I'm in school FT, work FT, and have 3 little ones. Last summer was awesome. On top of working a normal 7 to 3:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, I was able to bring in a couple $100 in 1 week. I also resell children's clothes. Started when I would put second-hand clothing on Instagram and FB. Now I have 3 little ones and I resell their clothing and I also thrift. Can make a few $100 in one drop easily. I pet sit on the side. Makes for a little spending money and helps pay down my debt. I sometimes board dogs at my house, other times I'll sleep at the client's house. I don't have dogs of my own, so I can spend the nights easily. I don't have the freedom to get a second job, as I'm the primary person taking care of the kids, and my wife has a very busy job. I used to buy stuff at Goodwill and other thrift stores and resell it online. I'd look for deals on Craigslist and Facebook, to then resell on eBay as well. But you need to live in the right place to do this. The quality of items and prices at Goodwill started to get terrible, so I stopped doing that. My only extra source of income now is scrap metal. I started it to get a few extra bucks here and there, and now it's one of my favorite hobbies. I can do it with the kids home. I don't make a lot, but I enjoy it and make some extra money. You can do it with a truck, SUV, or van. People give away or throw away items that have some scrap value. You take them apart and separate into different types of metal and take it to the scrap yard when you have enough to sell. I don't make as much as a part-time job, but I hate working for other people, so I prefer this. My best side gig was working part-time as a server in a decent restaurant. Not only did I get paid, but I also got free food, and the after-shift drink was my social time, so I didn't feel the need to go out and spend money elsewhere. So, made money, saved money. I babysit through a third-party contractor in my area. It's anywhere from $16 to $25 per hour, and most people tip. It basically pays for small wants here and there or bigger purchases I need. I just bought a mattress with the money I earned the last couple weeks. I work second shift, so I don't have lots of opportunity, but it's nice to make almost an extra $100 a week. Dog and house sitting too, but not nearly as often. A few different things. I detail cars. You will need some experience and tools to make serious cash. I also inspect residential and commercial properties that are being purchased. You will need to be certified, but it's not terribly difficult. I also donate plasma, do handyman stuff, and I play drums in a band, but that's mostly for fun. I am retired with a pension, and the first 2 I mentioned could potentially be full-time employment for some, and it is flexible and allows for independence. Hope this helps. I have a photography side hustle, average $400 NZ per shoot. Last year I made over $21,000 NZ through my side hustle. I worked 1, sometimes 2 part-time days a week on it. There's a lot of work to get clients, write briefs, admin, editing, file management. It's not just taking photos. It was a hobby at first, but my work has paid for all my gear and then some. Not tracking to make as much this year since my regular job has ramped up. I don't have time for my side hustle anymore. I run a part-time side business running a one-man computer repair shop slash NSP while working in IT as a day job. It leverages my existing strengths and the side business makes enough that combined with my low living expenses, it pays enough to cover those costs while letting me divert my day job's income towards maxing my retirement accounts and other savings goals. It also synergizes with other ways I make money, such as churning credit card bonuses and maximizing cashbacks, as the business generates a lot of legitimate spend. I also get additional tax savings, being able to deduct or depreciate a lot of shared business slash personal expenses such as my home office, computer, vehicle, etc. While it can be a grind, I find that I'm not doing much else that is productive in my spare time, so I may as well earn money doing it. My recommendation if you go this route is to pick something that allows you to say no so you don't suffer burnout. In my case, I only cater to my existing clients and their referrals and will occasionally take the random cold call. Cop-out answer, but OT. When the phone rings to come in on my off days, I come in. 1.5x or 2x based on some qualifiers, but it's the best way to make money. If you work at a 24/7 operation, they no doubt have OT. Last year we were short-staffed and I netted an extra $45K in OT pay. I work 4 on, 4 off 12 hours days slash nights, so it's easier for me to do 2 by 8 hour days or 4 by 16 days and still come out with a weekend. But there have been days when I worked a month straight. Most of my hobbies save me money. Homemade wine saves me about $10 a bottle. Make my own tea slash coffee $4 a cup. Make my own nasal snuff saves me about $300. I do dog walking slash boarding. I've cut back on the dog walks since I changed jobs in 2023 and it's more demanding slash requires me to be in a lot more calls, but as I still work fully remotely, I'm able to board a few pups throughout the year when their owners go out of town. Not too bad of a time commitment, but does require a lot more walking and having to be on their schedule. Also sometimes I do photography. Not something I've formally pushed, but I've done portraits for friends as well as engagement slash proposal shots. Also pretty easy to set your own hours and time commitment, but does require time for the shoot plus editing the photos afterwards. In total, 3 to 4 hours per shoot, not including travel. I always keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace for stuff that I could fix up and resell. Very inconsistent, but it gives me a little extra cash from time to time. Always check out free stuff on the side of the road too. Lots of beat up furniture that just needs new hardware and a fresh coat of stain slash paint. Once I have a little more funds to play around with, I might get into flipping cars on the side. I love wrenching on things and there's an abundance of half-finished project cars on Marketplace. Whatever it is, I think the best side jobs are ones that involve a hobby or are enjoyable to you. I never want a second job that feels draining. Are you good at math? My son made $50 to $75 an hour tutoring math when he was a college student. Mostly tutored kids studying for SAT. He lucked into a connection with a firm that coaches wealthy families on college applications. Also got some students through care.com. But he was in high-level math. If you are good at math or another subject, you can market yourself to the right demographic and this can be a good gig. I churn credit cards and bank accounts for extra money. When I don't have anything to do at work, I'll sign up for a bank account or a new credit card. For credit cards, I sign up for a new one every 3 months and put all my spend on it. For bank accounts, I'll change when my payroll goes through my company's payroll software and redirect all or part of my paycheck to a new bank account to meet the bonus requirements. I'll set calendar reminders in my phone for when to collect my bonus and close the bank account. I'll also set calendar reminders when to meet certain credit card spending bonuses. I made $5,000 in bank account and credit card bonuses last year, most of it from my computer at work. I think time-wise, I'm making about $200 an hour for those specific activities. Honestly, I just started spending less to get in a better financial situation. I did some auditing of my finances and realized I spent way too much on stupid shit: Amazon purchases, makeup, skincare and hair care products, alcohol, etc. I cut all of them off and voila, I started making extra $1,000 a month without having to work more. But if I had to actually make more, I found selling my old stuff very satisfying. It helps me declutter and brings some extra money in. I get that it's just the money my past self spent and now I'm returning what I owe, but still. It's like finding a $10 in a winter jacket with extra steps. I have a rotation of stuff I'm selling on FB Marketplace. Every couple weeks or so, I take a look around the house and ask myself if I've used the item in a year or two, and if I haven't, I'll likely sell it if I think it is value. I really like the idea of selling plants, never even crossed my mind. My husband has a bunch in his low nursery. I'll have to run that idea by him. I also digitally edit photos mostly using Photoshop. I've used the program for a while, so editing comes naturally for me. Every now and then, I'll sell an art commission. I'm thinking of ways to passively create income from my art. Still in the idea stage though. I have a part-time job doing security, so I work about 55 hours a week and it brings me an extra $1,000 per month. I'm just glad I'm not working every day of the week, cause that would stress me out not having an off day. Side gigs are nice for the extra money, but you'll find yourself working all the time with barely any time to enjoy your profits. So proceed with caution and try not to burn out. At least, that was my experience. For years, I had a salary job, working 45-ish hours per week along with a part-time automotive detailing business. It was good money, but working Sat/Sunday only turned into Friday through Sunday, which turned into Thursday through Sunday, and so on. I even had to take days off from my salary job to keep up with the demand. I stopped so I can spend more time being a dad, as I had a newborn at the time. Now if I want a few extra bucks, I will and deal car parts. Just being a car guy my whole life, I usually buy stuff when it's a good deal and offload stuff from time to time for a profit. I have 2 side jobs. I do web development and WordPress site and theme development. Yes, web development is different from WordPress. Some photography, mostly senior photos. Being an amateur landscape and nature photographer, I don't really want to get into much more personal photography than that. I make about $100 a week doing surveys. Used to make less, but I discovered a couple of good ones that pay fast. Just takes some time. Other than that, I don't want to go out and get another job, as that would take up more of my time. Wish I could make the happy discovery of getting rich quick though. Restaurant jobs are good side gigs. At some counter service jobs you can make $20 to $25 per hour and then way more doing full table service in the $35 to $40 per hour range. It's not that hard to get a decent job these days, cause everyone needs help after the last few years. Plus the free/cheap food is good and the work can be fun, sometimes LOL, if you get along with your coworkers. There's also catering, with event bartending being the best paying gig in that realm. I did delivery jobs on and off, just a waste honestly for delivery anyway. They barely pay anything and all that wear on the car and more stuff you need to check more often along with gas. For second job, I'd suggest either a real second job that you are gonna be paid more than minimum. If you do delivery, it's best to work somewhere like Pizza Hut. Otherwise, I'd suggest a non-driving job if you need something else. FedEx part-time. From 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Perfect for me since my full-time job starts at 10:30 a.m. It's so difficult to get ahead nowadays. Working at FedEx part-time is helping a ton. Also, not a job really, but I donate plasma twice a week, which brings in $448/month. I have had side jobs my entire life. I've always been a laborer. My mom's friends and now many other people call me to move furniture, haul junk, hang pictures, lay sod, or whatever they propose. When I was a kid, I'd work for beer. Once I got my own truck, I was able to charge a lot more. Over the past 10 years, I've been working almost exclusively for a lady doing storage unit consolidation / sorting / junk hauling. Your labor almost always has no overhead, and you'll be able to sell as much as you're willing. Based on some of the comments already made, maybe try not to focus on making more money, but get a side gig that will save you on things you already spend money on. Some people already mentioned the food you get as a server. I dated a girl who worked at Starbucks, and they got to take home all the marked out food. When I was younger, I used to work part-time at a car parts store just for the discount cause I'm a gearhead. The money I made there I ended up spending there, but at least it wasn't for my primary source of income. It also saved me a lot on car maintenance because I learned to do everything myself. I saw a comment you made with an interest in doing a side gig as a photographer. Are there any tiny camera or photo shops in your town where you can work part-time to get a discount on a camera and maybe some experience? I knew a retired guy that worked part-time at a movie theater so he could watch all the new movies for free with his wife. They always had a guaranteed date night a few times a month. You can take a guest so you'll always have something to do with your friends without having to pay. Plus you'll always smell like popcorn. I earn $580 a week at a factory and $100 a week at a dollar store. Dollar store used to be my main job, but I went down to 2 days a week when I got on at the factory, which pays way better. Dollar store job is low stress when you don't actually need it, so I've kept it for the extra money. It's been worth it, Imo. Dollar store sucks as a primary job to rely on. It can be very stressful that way. But if it's your extra money and you don't actually need to be there, it can be extremely low stress if you're willing to learn how to let certain shit, like rude customers or petty managers, roll off you like water off a duck. I learned to make balloon animals on YouTube. I now charge $170 for an hour and a half of balloon entertainment at birthday parties. Without advertising, I get 10 to 15 parties a year. If I advertised, I'm sure it would be more, which is free and easy on Facebook. Also, it's fun and very low investment. Thanks for watching and being on the road to Reddit Millionaire with us. So, do you already have a side job? Let us know. Until next one.